Flip a coin. Either one will be fun.
Thanks.
All right, we have news out of the Bay. Steph Curry is out tonight against the Lakers. He played the last 2 games after missing the previous 27 games with a knee issue. The Warriors are on the front end of a back-to-back with just 3 games left in the regular season. So, with LeBron James in town facing the Warriors, we have both Anthony Slater and Dave McMenamin, who will be at the Chase Center tonight as well. So let's start with the home team, fellas. Steph is out. So, Anthony, what's the plan for him this weekend?
Ruining some entertainment value, right?
Time for Coast to Coast, checking in on what playoff seeds were locked in last night. Starting in LA, the Thunder beat the Clippers to clinch the top spot in the West and home court throughout the playoffs. It's their 3rd straight postseason at the top of the Western Conference. Tim, do people appreciate this dominance for the 3-year run?
Yeah, listen, let's talk about the last 2 years. Only the Jordan Bulls and the prime Steph Warriors have more wins over a 2-year span than Oklahoma City Thunder. Clinched the top overall seed again. 19-1 in the last 20 games, rolling. Going into the playoffs.
In Orlando, the Timberwolves lost to the Magic. That locks them into the 6th seed. Ant, Randall, and Gobert all set out. Perk, what's your outlook for Minnesota in the post?
I don't know. They're the biggest mystery in the Western Conference. We're talking about a team that went to the conference finals last year, expected to take that leap, but been inconsistent, especially on the defensive side. Can't Julius Randle be a Robin? Is Rudy going to be that defensive player that we know instead of crying about the damn basketball?
In Phoenix, Suns beat the Mavs. Check Kaman Malawach's block on his former Duke teammate Cooper Flagg. Not up in here. Suns lock up the 7th seed. Phoenix will host either the Clippers or Blazers to start the play-in tourney. Tim, which matchup do you want to see?
You know, here's the deal. I really think about which Clippers matchup do I want to see. Kawhi going back and playing against the Spurs for the first time in the playoffs since he left, or Shea versus the Clippers. Flip a coin. Either one will be fun.
Thanks.
All right, we have news out of the Bay. Steph Curry is out tonight against the Lakers. He played the last 2 games after missing the previous 27 games with a knee issue. The Warriors are on the front end of a back-to-back with just 3 games left in the regular season. So, with LeBron James in town facing the Warriors, we have both Anthony Slater and Dave McMenamin, who will be at the Chase Center tonight as well. So let's start with the home team, fellas. Steph is out. So, Anthony, what's the plan for him this weekend?
Ruining some entertainment value, right? We're going to get 0 LeBron James against Steph Curry games this season. But, the Warriors always plan to rest them on one side of this back-to-back. Obviously, coming off this knee injury that forced him out 27 games, they decided late morning today they prefer to play him tomorrow night in Sacramento. That will allow him to play with Kristaps Porzingis, who's also resting because he hasn't been cleared for back-to-back. So he's resting tonight, playing tomorrow is the expectation. They've only played 8 minutes together. They need to get some reps prior to next Wednesday night when they already know they're going to be the 10 seed. They're going to be on the road either in Portland or LA against the Clippers or Blazers in the play-in. So I expect basically dress rehearsals Friday night in Sacramento, Sunday afternoon in LA against the Clippers to get ready to play with their season on the line.
Now, on the Lakers side, LeBron James set out their last game against OKC. Dave, how is LeBron handling the increased role with Luka and Austin Reeves out?
MJ, it's not completely different than what he was doing before. He's still not bringing the ball up. That's now in Luke Kennard's hand. He had 20 assists over the last 2 games. They hope to get Marcus Smart back tonight. He's missed the last 8 games with a variety of injuries. LeBron James will be asked to be a screener in the half court, play off the ball, and continue if the Lakers get steals and deflections and long defensive rebounds, go out and try to score in transition. He certainly recognizes the moment the Lakers are in. They're a game and a half back of the Denver Nuggets for the number 3 seed. That's really like a half a game because the Lakers have the tiebreaker over Denver. Even though J.J. Redick the other day said seeding's kind of out the window, there's still a pathway for the Lakers to end up on the top side of the Western Conference bracket. If they take care of Golden State starting tonight, home against Phoenix tomorrow, and then they close out against an easy opponent Sunday in the Utah Jazz.
All right, so you're saying there's a chance. All right, Dave and Anthony, thank you both. All right, so
Warriors Nation News. Dub Nation, let me ask you something that should make every fan stop scrolling right now. If Steph Curry is sitting out against the Lakers, the Warriors already know they are headed for the 10 seed, and the team is still choosing long-term chemistry over short-term panic. Is that a warning sign, or is that actually a smart team getting ready for survival mode? Because this is where the story gets really interesting. Stephen Curry is out tonight against the Lakers after playing the previous 2 games following a 27-game absence with right patellofemoral pain syndrome, and the Warriors are managing him through the front end of a back-to-back with only a few regular season games left. Anthony Slater reported the plan was always to rest Curry on one side of this back-to-back, and the expectation is that he and Kristaps Porzingis will both be available in Sacramento so they can get needed reps together before the play-in. That is not random. That is not fear. That is a team looking at the calendar, looking at the standings, and saying, we have to prepare for the games that actually define our season. And hold on, that part matters a lot more than people think, because Golden State and Porzingis are still basically learning each other on the fly. Slater said Curry and Porzingis had played only 8 minutes together at that point, and that is a huge deal when your entire postseason life is about to come down to 1 or 2 games. Yeah, 8 minutes is nothing. That is barely enough time to learn where a guy likes the ball, how he screens, where he slips, what the spacing feels like, how the weak side reacts. So when fans get frustrated and say, why is Steph not playing against LeBron? The answer is ugly, simple basketball math. The Warriors are trying to make sure Curry and Porzingis get actual game reps together before the play-in starts, because once that tournament hits, there is no room for experimentation anymore. Now let's talk about the bigger emotional picture, because this is where Dub Nation has every right to feel both stressed and excited at the same time. Reuters reported that Curry returned on April 5 after a 2-month absence and immediately dropped 29 in a 1-point loss to Houston, then came back with 17 and 2 4-point plays in the wild win over Sacramento 2 days later. That is not a normal comeback. That is a superstar reminding the league, I am still here and I still make your whole defense shake. The Warriors went 9-18 during his absence, according to Reuters, which tells you exactly how different this team looks when number 30 is not on the floor. So even though the standings are rough and the Warriors are staring at the 10 seed, the return of Steph changes the emotional temperature of everything. The offense breathes differently, the building feels different, the opponents get tighter. That is why no team feels safe looking at a healthy enough Steph in a 1-game scenario. And come on, man, we also have to be real about what just happened against the Kings, because that game told us a lot about the Warriors beyond just the final score. Golden State beat Sacramento 110-105 to snap a 4-game losing streak, with DeAnthony Melton scoring 21, Brandon Podziemski adding 20, and Charles Bassey posting a 14-point, 12-rebound double-double. Reuters said Curry hit the game-tying 3 late and then turned his own miss into an offensive rebound and assist on Podziemski's go-ahead triple. That sequence right there, that is pure Warriors heartbeat. Not perfect, not clean, not pretty, but alive. And when a team is that battered and still finds a way to win under that kind of pressure, it tells you the locker room has not quit on itself. And in April, that matters more than style points. Of course, the whole league got distracted by the Kings controversy, and yes, Draymond Green absolutely lit that conversation on fire. Reuters reported the NBA investigated Sacramento after Doug McDermott intentionally fouled Seth Curry while the Warriors were already in the bonus and the Kings were up 1. Then on April 9th, Reuters reported the league cleared Kings coach Doug Christie, saying he made an honest mistake and believed the Warriors were not yet in the penalty. So officially, the NBA says it was not tanking sabotage, it was a coaching error. But Dub Nation saw how weird it looked in real time. Draymond called out the inconsistency in how the league punishes players versus teams, and whether fans buy the explanation or not, the Warriors still had to do the hardest thing, stay composed and win. That tells you something about the nerve of this team.
Now here is where I lean favorable to the Warriors, and I mean that with my chest. This team is not pretty. This team is not fully healthy. This team is not settled. ESPN reported last month that Jimmy Butler tore his right ACL in January. Curry was out indefinitely for persistent knee trouble, and Porzingis has had his own health uncertainty. That is brutal. That is season-breaking stuff for almost any team. But Golden State did not fold all the way. It stayed in the fight, got Steph back, and now it is doing the only smart thing left, trying to maximize whatever chemistry it can build before the play-in. That is why resting Curry tonight is frustrating as entertainment, sure, but logical as survival strategy. If the Warriors are going to scare anybody, it will not be by winning the April headline against the Lakers. It will be by having Steph and Porzingis functioning together when the season is literally on the line. And let's not ignore the role players, because if Golden State is going to do anything, this cannot be only the Steph show. Melton's scoring punch, Podziemski's growth, Bassey's rebounding, and the possibility of Porzingis finally getting live reps with Curry. That is the formula. Not dominance, not old dynasty perfection, just enough support to turn Steph's gravity into real offense and let Draymond quarterback the madness. Warriors.com's April fan guide and postseason preview both framed this stretch as the final push with Steph back in the lineup and the team trying to stabilize before the tournament. Ha-ha! So no, the Warriors are not entering this thing looking comfortable. But comfortable is overrated anyway. Dangerous is what matters, and they still look dangerous if the right pieces are on the floor at the same time. So here is my conclusion, Dub Nation, and yes, it is favorable to the Warriors all the way. Golden State sitting Steph tonight is not surrender. It is a calculated bet that tomorrow matters more. It is a team admitting the truth of its situation and trying to steal every possible advantage before the play-in begins. Steph is back. Porzingis is expected to join him in Sacramento. The Warriors already know where they stand. And now the mission is clear. Build enough rhythm, enough trust, and enough edge to make one desperate game turn into two. Ha-ha! And once Steph Curry is in a one-game situation with something to prove, nobody gets to relax. Now I need your take right now. Do you agree with the Warriors resting Steph against the Lakers so he can build reps with Porzingis for the play-in? Or do you think they should have pushed harder for every possible win? Drop your opinion in the comments, hit like, and subscribe to Warriors Nation News.